Greetings, travelers, missionaries, conquistadors, Spanish hobos, missionaries. We're in San Antonio here, and we're at Mission Concepcion, Spanish mission. I'll tell you a little bit about these missions. There's 5 major missions in San Antonio. The Alamo is Mission de Vallejo, or Valero is the official name, but it's called the Alamo. And these were started about 1700 by the Spanish. And you think about it, maybe Spain filled ships with missionaries and they came across the ocean and landed and started these. Well, actually, they started from Mexico City. Mexico City had been established for 200 years before the missionaries came up into Texas. Now, of course, it wasn't just missionaries. There's soldiers, horses, wagons, carpenters, stonemasons. They all came up here to establish a place for Spain. The Catholic Church and Spain were as one. So if you're going to go explore, and the bottom line is gold and silver. The Spanish wanted gold and silver. They were searching for it. They also wanted land. And missionaries and converting Indians into Christians was secondary. The primary goal was gold or silver for the Spanish crown. So they come up in about 1700, wagons, horses, soldiers, and they established these missions not just as a church, but as a fort. And the native Indians would establish a little piece of farmland to raise crops and do what they do, cattle, and they'd get raided by the Comanches. So the locals would come to the missions for protection, and the missionaries would bring in those who wanted to stay, could stay inside the fort in little rooms protected from the elements and the Indians, the Comanche. And they would also teach them trades: stonework, cattle ranching, farming, beadwork, basket weaving, leather. And so the native Indians actually learned a trade while they were here. And of course, it was in the morning, you get up and you go to church, you go to mass, and then you have a bowl of corn, and then it's time to do chores. And so you did chores all day, come back and get a meal, and then go to bed. So it wasn't, you weren't just lounging around at these missions, you had chores to do. So that's what they did. And also, once you've established your trade inside the mission, safe from the Comanches, you would go out in the countryside and become a farmer or a blacksmith or a stonemason and ply your trade. And you would make some money off of that, and part of that money went back to the crown. So the Spanish were not giving away things. You come here to the mission, you establish a trade and go out and work, there's a tax. You're going to be taxed, and it's going back to Spain. But another reason they came to this area is to repel the French. The French were interested in this land, and so the Spanish established these missionaries in the San Antonio area and parts of Texas to combat the French. They were, hey, this is our land. You French people, get out of here. So there was some competition there. These main missions here, there were secondary or temporary missions throughout the area, smaller ones. But these were the main 5. There were hundreds in Texas and hundreds California, all over Florida, all over the place. But the missions here lasted about 70 years. So 1770, 1780, they started to decline. Civilization was moving out here. Indians were being repelled. And so it became safer to leave the fort or the mission and go ahead with your livelihood. So that's a little, that's my take on the missions. Do your Google searches and your WikiLeaks and get their version. But don't forget, it wasn't just relaxing here in the mission and saying prayers. You had chores to do, but you're also safe from the Comanche. All right, Coastal Kev out here. We're in San Antonio. We're going to head for Houston and back to Pearl River County. We'll talk to you soon.